Moon Palace, Chapter 17. In order to avoid the morning traffic, Mei Ling left the house early and found herself in the airport parking lot. She was not alone. There were vehicles stretched as far as the eyes could see. It was a surprise to hear Yuan's voice message when she got home a couple nights ago that he and his mother would be returning on a morning flight back to Chicago. He didn't say much other than that his mother was not feeling well. Mei Ling purposely parked facing east to see the sunrise, something she rarely done on account that she usually don't leave the house until after 9. But also because it reminded her of something that happened less than a week ago. It was after the intense air, after the tears and the surrender, that she allowed his warmth embracing her. Wei Long cradled her in his arms as they sat on a wide windowsill looking at the sky slowly awaking. After a moment of silence, Mei Ling asked, "Wei Long, yes? Where are you from exactly?" Wei Long paused and said, "I'm from a fishing village next to a sea." "Near Beijing?" "No, Fuzhou actually." He gently rubbed her arms, trying to warm her cool skin. "Where I was born." "Tell me more," she whispered. "It is a beautiful place. A crescent moon-shaped hill wrapped around a beach, and next to it is a marina where the fishing boats part. Growing up, that is all I ever know. My grandfather was a fisherman, and so was my father. We were a self-sufficient town. We grow our own vegetables and raise chickens and pigs, but mostly we eat fish and sell the rest of what we catch to the locals. We get fresh water from the mountains. There is a location where pipes were built in at the bottom to transport the water to town. All we have to do is get our container to fill." "What does the water taste like?" "Fresh, clean, and tastes the same as the smell of the forest." "Sounds like a paradise." "Well, yes and no. The nature part is the paradise, but the housing aren't so much. Only the ones with more income gets to live in a few story high buildings. The rest are pretty much built by the people that live in them, sort of like little cabin or shack." "How did you end up in Beijing?" "I got tired of fishing. I wanted to explore, to see if I can get a job in the big city. But it was difficult. You have to get a work permit, and that takes a long time. So I snuck in and worked for a restaurant." "Snuck in?" "Yeah, it is pretty normal. A lot of people are doing it. You work during the day, and you sleep in the dining room, and late at night you come out to walk around. Of course, if you see a policeman, you just pick up the pace and then hide." He laughed. Mei Ling smiled. "Well then, how did you end up here?" "One day, a friend of mine told me about a job recruit agency for overseas. So I went and signed up. My boss back there gave a few good words, and soon I got on a plane ticket and flew over." "That's how you end up working for Mrs. Wang?" "Yes." "How long can you stay?" "The work visa is good for 2 years." 1 year left, Mei Ling thought, and felt a bit uneasy, thinking he will leave at some point in the near future. "What are you thinking about?" he asked, and leaned over and kissed on top of her head. "Nothing." "Okay then." He wrapped his arm around her. "Can I ask you a question too?" "Sure." "Why did you drink so much last night? What was it that made you so sad?" She frowned and sighed. I don't know where to begin. We have a good few hours. You should have plenty of time, he said gently. For the last 2 years, Yuan has been with another woman. He didn't look surprised, nor did he respond, but Mei Ling knew he was listening. I think you know her, said Mei Ling. Who is it? Her name is Moy, and she worked as a bookkeeper at Mrs. Wang's. Wei Long squeezed her even tighter. Mei Ling leaned back further and felt his torso gently moving behind her with each breath. She proceeded to tell him the rest. How she found out, how she confronted Yuan, who denied everything, and how she confronted the woman who confessed, and that was the reason she drank at the party. I didn't know how I felt exactly. I just wanted to be numb. Wei Long sank his face to the back of her long black hair and inhaled. He whispered, no matter how things are going to turn out, I want you to know I'm here for you. It was her turn to squeeze his hands that were much larger than hers. I have no idea how to deal with this whole thing. It feels as if once it is revealed and everyone knows, it will be over. All of it. The business, our marriage, everything. Is that something you are willing to accept? He asked. I don't know. I'm so confused right now. She looked down and felt soreness in her eyes and nose. He jolted her. Hey, don't worry about it right now. You are with me. Let's just take a deep breath and watch the sun rises together. And an alarm went off ferociously a few cars away, and a man frantically clicking his beeper to stop it. Mei Ling looked at the clock, realizing she has been sitting there for over an hour. Yuan and his mother may already been waiting at the arrival terminal.